Hello, Nat, and welcome to the ANN podcast.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
We met for the very first time.
Yes.
From what I hear, I get to know that you're an aerospace engineer.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's true.
Well, the word aerospace confuses me in a lot. Sometimes they say the aeronautical sciences, then there's the astronautical sciences,
Yeah.
and there's the aerodynamic sciences. What is this with a broad brush term that's known as aerodynamics? What does it really comprise of?
Actually, aerodynamic is consist of two. That is, one is aeronautical. Another one is astronautical. So whatever you have heard, like aerodynamic or aircraft maintenance or everything, or a propeller science or say rocket science, those all comes under aeronautical. Yeah. And the other one, it comes outer space, such as satellite, space stations, things, and study of planets, study of outer space. Those all comes under astrodynamic. So that is the main difference.
Okay, so you've, so to speak, studied inside the boundaries, in the confines of the earthly atmosphere.
Yes. Actually, I studied, I did my master from IIT Bombay, and it was master in Aerospace Engineering and specialization in aerodynamic. That was mine. Yeah.
So before you moved on to India, did you complete your study? You completed a bachelor's in our country itself, or did you study abroad?
No, it was all in India.
All in India.
Yes. After my 10th, what happened was I passed my SLC. At that time, it was called as School Living Certificate, SLC. So in 2002, I think I passed my SLC. And after that, what happened was I was in search of a place where I could study only physics and math. Yeah, because I don't like bio. That was the thing. Actually, it was very hard for me to conceive the concept of bio and zoology and all those kind of things. So I asked my father and mom, especially dad, to look after the college where I can study only physics and math. So I got to know about the college in Andhra Pradesh where they teach like MPC, math, physics, chemistry. And so I enrolled in that in Vivekananda Junior College. And after that, I gave my engineering MCET exam from Andhra Pradesh, and I got a good ranking on that. And from that, what I got to study, not in Andhra Pradesh, but from there, I got to study in National Institute of Aeronautical Engineering at Dehradun, which was affiliated to Rajasthan Vidyapith University at that time. So then after that, I came back in 2008 after completion of my undergrad. And from 2008 to 2009, I just volunteered in Nepal without knowing where should I go. No one was there to guide me. Actually, it was a really rough stage at the time. And just fortunately, I got a chance in Nepal Airlines, and I applied for it. I got through the Lok Seva exam. And I still remember, and it was tough, but I cleared that exam, and then I just went through what is aviation industries in Nepal. And after 5 years, as you know, sometimes the work get monotonous, so you need some change. So I applied for my master degree. I got into one of the most prestigious institute in India, IIT Bombay.
I have to say that it's not one of the most prestigious in India. It's one of the most prestigious in the world. I think you're being too modest when you say that.
I would say, for India, I would say that one of the best institute, and I got into that. And that was my privilege to go there and learn a lot of things regarding research and development. So that was when it started. And in 2008, there was no any institute in Nepal who provide the aeronautical sciences or science related to aerospace or astronautical. Nothing was there. So right now, I think IUE Pulchop has BE degree in mechanical and aerospace engineering. So it comes under mechanical thing. So
So have you taken a look at the course content of Pulchu?
no, I haven't. I haven't.
No, I don't.
No, I have no idea at all. But I'm planning. Let's see. Yeah, I'm planning.
One of the things that streaked across my mind when you say that you passed the Lok Seng public commission,
Yeah.
and then you went to India. Are you still
No.
with the government services as of now?
Yeah. No, I'm not with.
You're not.
I just resigned with Nepal Airlines Corporation. It has been a month.
It's been a month.
Yes.
This is fascinating news for all of the parents who try to force their kids into go to Lok Seng. But we've got somebody who's got through.
It's good. Actually, it's good. The thing that I have learned till now is through, I gave an exam through Lok Seva. I went to NSC. I got to learn a lot of stuff in NSC. The professional part of me growth went to the soar when I was in NSC. So I couldn't say that you shouldn't force your son or daughter into, doing the public commission exam. It's good. You can try for it. If you don't like, you can quit.
So is there something specific about the Nepalese Airlines that you did not like? Or
There are a lot of things I didn't like. There are a lot of things I shouldn't speak, I think so. Because, yes. And let's see, it's a public program, so let's hope that some decades from today onwards, or from next year onwards, maybe Nepal Airlines or any Nepalese aviation will grow. I don't know about other airlines, but I have worked for Nepal Airlines, so I hope to see growth, development in Nepal Airlines Corporation after 10 years, maybe.
so why do you think it's going to take us a decade to get the...
There are a lot of things which we have to improve. A lot. You can't imagine.
Not that you can't imagine, you can't even tell.
Yes, I can even tell. But it's not like I can even tell, but there are a lot of things. It has improved because I have worked in Nepal Airlines for the last 14 years. I had work. And now it's like I have seen a lot of improvement because from maintenance point of view, from our operation point of view, from making a policy level to getting the safety thing, getting the audit thing, it has improved a lot. I can say that. But it needs to improve a lot.
Better.
Yeah.
The ceiling is getting higher and higher.
Yeah. The restrictions are much higher these days. And, since the Nepal Aviation and the operating body itself is in a blacklist of EU. So that is making us to do more work. And it's not that we are not enjoying. We are learning a lot of things from that. Yeah, it needs time.
It needs time.
Yeah.
And sometimes don't you think that these processes tend to take too much time? I mean, we could speed it up somehow.
Yes, we can. We can if you try. When I think Modi, when he arrived in Nepal, Kathmandu especially, he was staying in Solti. Do you remember? It was like a 4 or 5 years
ago when he talked about
yes.
Gautam Buddha's birth.
Yes,
he
yes.
talked about the border issues.
Yes, about that. At that time, it's like on night, if I remember, the road was like from the airport till Solti Hotel. Because my mom and dad, they live on that area, particularly in Bafal area. So I do remember those roads were pitched and overnight. So yeah.
We could do it.
We can do it. If every human resource are there, good human resource, I
think we've got to get Modi into the Nepalese Airlines.
Yeah. The concept of, necessity. People should know that if one project is given to you, it should be completed on time. It's not like, I'll work tomorrow. So tomorrow never comes. You have to complete within a given time limit. There are a lot of things which I can say you. So you have to complete in time. You have to follow the protocol. You have to see the policy. What is policy saying? Is it okay? If not, then what? So there should be something.
One of the things that I'm fascinated now that I'm talking to is about what kind of work were you involved in? Because when I talk to aeronautical engineers, some of them tell me that aeronautical engineers are primarily for research, one, maintenance, not maintenance, research, development, and manufacture. They think that these are the three key areas where you need to work on. And we know that there is a dearth of funding in research. We've got virtually no manufacturing, no manufacturing. So how did you find a particular niche where you could work on, and how difficult was it to adapt to those conditions?
First of all, I like to say it's not based on research, R&D, and then manufacture. Focused on only, these are the main particular key areas, I would say. But there are a lot of things that is involved in aerospace, aeronautical, or astronautical science, I would say. It's like, it includes biotech. Yeah.
It includes biotech.
Yeah. It includes coding, computer science. It includes automobile. Yeah, do. It includes electrical or electronics engineer. It includes telecommunication engineer. Engineering brand, the courses that include all those things. So you can, it's not only particularly that you can go into R&D. Yeah, you can go, or manufacturing. You can go into the medical science where you develop the knees or elbow, which are aerodynamically designed and which is very helpful for the specially able person. So those people are doing research on that. And even marine engineering, they use the aerospace engineering.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. So those are some areas where you can go. But being as aeronautical or aerospace engineering in Nepal, I would say that, our field is like really limited. Especially in Nepal, it's either you go in authority body, or you go in airlines, or you can do some AMA thing, or something related to safety, quality assurance. And the thing I did was like the performance engineering, or say the operation engineer. Yeah.
So that involves?
It involves basically the performance calculation of the aircrafts, that if you are flying from, say, a destination to, say, in a layman word, if you are flying from destination A to B, so what are the load that you can carry? If the engine is shut down, one engine is like shut down, what is the contingency process that you follow? So those procedures are developed by us. Those weight limits are developed by us. Those center of gravities, the loading system are calculated by us and given to the loaders or the people who load those things. So, and other one is like, the contingency procedure involved if you are pressurized. If the aircraft is pressurized, then what is the contingency procedure? That also you have to develop. So those are the criteria we work on, especially the performance engineer, or I can say the operation engineer. So I was involved on those kind of things. And after that, we are involved in other criteria like audit, finding audit, doing some other research, and then, finding the route analysis of the aircraft, so which is the feasible route, and then which is most economic route, and then doing the cost calculation of the aircraft, cost index calculation of the aircraft, where you can save the huge amount of money. So those are the things that we are directly and indirectly involved in.
Since you also said in the beginning, your response, Thurston, you're involved in calculation of load, how much the aircraft can carry or not. I wanted to talk about a particular incident that took place in the May 29th, 2022. This was the crash of the Tara Airlines in Georgian South. The report was published about, say, a week or so ago. And one of the things that was written in the report is that the maximum takeoff weight that the aircraft could carry was 12,500 pounds. and it was found out that the aircraft was overweight by 116 pounds. So
116
pounds.
Oh, okay.
That's not a lot in Ankara, is it? But do you think that even when the load as little as 1 or 16 adds to the aircraft, it affects the performance in a lot of ways?
First of all, the maximum capacity of the aircraft is 12,500. I don't know about the Jomsam incident or because I haven't read a generic term. I'm talking about in generic term that, say, suppose this aircraft has a capacity of 12,500 lb. So that is the maximum capacity of this aircraft. But if you are moving from, say, point A to point B, suppose, so it is based on the runway length, the obstacles around it, the environment conditions. So either it can carry 12,500 lbs or not. It is a given manufacturer. It can carry that much, but it depends upon the restricted takeoff weight. So you have to think regarding that also, whether it can carry 12,500 or it can carry 12,300. It depends upon the RTOW, regulated takeoff weight. So those are also our duty to calculate that thing. So I don't know about the report. And so say suppose this has a capacity of 12,000 lb. So it's a full. So if I keep a dip of it also, it will fall down, right? So you can imagine. So if you can hold the paper, if you have a small paper, yeah, it has some capacity. If you keep that load on particular thing, then yeah, it might get to crash.
It
might have. But I haven't gone through the study.
Because that's not your particular area of expertise.
Yes. I couldn't say the area of expertise in the investigation. Yeah. Yes. I could do the weight and balance and all those things, but those are...
So when an investigation report like that is made or is being prepared, are there analysts like you who sit on the committee, who give advice to people who write the reports? How does that really work?
Actually, I don't know regarding that. I would say, but I think, if I'm not wrong, any of the investigation team should involve the manufacturer, the people from manufacturing team, and the people from performance team, the people from material science people, the analysis of strain of the aircraft. They should know that also. So those are the expertise needed, especially, and pilot too. And that too, the pilot with, I think, say more than some hour, say, when they say senior captain, those kind of people are needed, or instructor pilot. So those opinions are needed. But to do the thing like, I think, seat metal analysis, to do the propeller blade analysis, what are the engine running capacity, I don't think so. We do have those kind of thing over here. So I think those black box or FDR or CVR, whatever those instruments are, I think they are taken into the particular area where they analysis on that. Or if I'm not wrong, previously if I saw like I lost one of my friend really in our Argakhanchi accident. At that time, the people who were involved there was only one captain and a lot of government officers who were involved. I don't know whether they know regarding the strain stress analysis or not, or whether they know about how does the propeller work, or how does the performance of the aircraft work, or how does the loading of the aircraft was done. Maybe there were some idea given from other people also, but on that committee I couldn't see. I could see only 2 or 3 captain involved, and rest all were from from the official body, government official body. So that I couldn't take that report for if you ask me as an aerospace engineer. So no, because I need certain thing from from the manufacturer itself, from this analysis people, from the performance people, from the loading people, let's see, from the maintenance people. So
Yeah.
You need to have all those reports. Yeah, maybe this time they have done all those things. That's why they found out regarding the extra load.
Right. Your point is wonderfully made. I was talking to a captain in this series of podcasts that we're doing, and this was done about 2 weeks or so, and I asked him if the mountains of Nepal really posed a challenge in order to take off or land. Because you as an aerospace engineer already know about mountain waves or atmospheric gravity waves. These are sometimes also known as the waves, which tend to affect the aircraft. He said, no. It's not a matter of climate, it's about the pilots. But we, people who've read a bit of physics, who've read a lot of aerospace engineering, know that you can't simply say that the landscape does not affect. It does, and it does heavily.
Yes, of course. Even from Kathmandu, when you, for a bigger aircraft like a wide body or say the narrow body, not a smaller aircraft, not a trunk route aircraft, or I'm talking about trunk route or other stall-field aircraft. I'm talking regarding the wide body and narrow body aircrafts. So those aircrafts have a restriction, if I'm saying that, from takeoff from Kathmandu. Though they have the manufactured capacity of 75 ton, they couldn't take 75 ton. We are restricted to 73 ton or either 74 ton because of the terrain. That plays an important role. Because of the temperature, that plays an important role. Because of the wind, that plays an important role. So you couldn't say as an aviator or into the aviation industry that those factors doesn't affect. It affect a lot.
It affects.
Yeah.
So what are the other things that you found out working in the Nepalese Airlines about what affects or what doesn't affect the performance of airlines, which was a bit out of the ordinary? I mean, I'm not asking you to name a particular case and do the investigation a bit, so to speak, but general things about aircraft that you did not really know and started working.
Yeah, I didn't know anything actually. When I started into the performance engineering or say operation engineering, we went for a training, okay? And there was one case like we had a 5 restriction. Say something was regarding the N1, N2 of the aircraft, and some was regarding the brake something of the aircraft, and some was temperature of the aircraft, some was the wind of the aircraft, so some was the runway length of the aircraft, acceleration, stop distance, or so much case was there. And from that particular case, the most restrictive case with single engine, we have to calculate the RTOW. So that was say, for example, your engine is like a single engine, and it's a single engine, and your runway length is, say, within the given criteria, or say have some restriction, and your brake limit is like within the restriction, and your other factors are within the restriction, then you have to consider the most restrictive part. And from that most restrictive part, if you take if for example in Boeing, say I have worked in Boeing, 190 ton was the maximum load. From here we couldn't take the 190 ton. Or 230 was the maximum, and we was restricted to 190 ton. So that was due to not only the runway length, nothing was restricted, but the terrain was there from Kathmandu. I'm talking just about from the takeoff from Kathmandu, not regarding other. And for other such as Doha, Dubai, those aircraft, runway was not there, but the temperature was there, because there the temperature is really high. So the higher the temperature go, our takeoff weight will be more restricted. So those are the things.
Wow, wonderful.
Yeah.
One of the other fascinating things that you've touched upon was that after the completion of your high school, you wanted to only study mathematics and physics. This is not really typical of a person who completes their high school. I mean, it's generally said that engineering is not the go-to resort for women. And it's generally perceived that way because we also see that there's a dearth of engineers, female engineers in particular. So when you studied in India or studied in IIT specifically, what was the gender ratio of men?
You'll be amazed, because It was, I would say, 1 to 10.
1 to 10.
Yes.
So there were a total of 100 students who...
Yeah.
And at
one or say 2.
2. Out of?
Out of, for my senior batch, it was 1, 2, 3 girls and 300 more students. 150 students, 3 girls. And for my junior batch, it was, it was, I think 4 girls and 150. For me, it was me and then 150. Not from aerodynamic only, it's from propulsion also. There were no girls were there, and from sheet metals and the manufacturing, it was also no girls were there. So I was only from my batchmate. So it's very low.
It's very
pretty low.
Very low. Now, it's often been said that this might be due to some sort of repression that's going on in the society, that women aren't really encouraged to pursue their careers that way. And do you think that that's the general sign of things?
Globally speaking, if I read in one paper that the quantity of women, lady, engaging in engineering is really low compared to the guy, or say male factor. Yeah, there is a gender inequality. I could say that inequality. That is the wrong word. I think so. Yeah, I would say that. But yes, this is very different in the number. I could say that, and then after that, I would say maybe there are some factor of society. Maybe people are scared because they think that they couldn't do that. There might be. You never know.
There might be stereotypes.
Yes, yeah, there might be. And there are, I think, for especially for in our society where I grew up, my family was not like that, but the other people around it. It's like, okay, you want to go to engineering, go to either computer science or electronics and telecommunication.
Or architecture.
Or architecture, yeah, I could say that. Or architecture. I don't know why they have defined those. I'm especially not able to know why. You can go into mechanical, you can go into automobile, you can come into the aerospace or aeronautical. You have choice. It's not that it's hard. Yeah, every engineering is hard. Every other sciences are hard. Every other arts is hard. Education is also hard. Everything is hard, but I don't know why people are not coming to study engineering, especially which involve, maybe they think that they involve a heavy lift or something with machinery part, or they are scared to go with, the heavy calculation or the mathematical thing or physics thing. Yeah, there is. It's not like a piece of cake, You can just go there, study, and then do. I don't know. I think the society is brought up on that kind of thing, and those are the factors that are affecting. And one most reason is like, okay, you go to the mechanical, will you be able to get a job? That's the question.
Yeah, that's a very big question.
You come into the aerospace, will you be able to get the job? The parents are concerned because they are spending
a lot of money.
Yes, into the children. Or even though they are going to into scholarship, are they? So those are the factor, I think, that are resilient for especially the woman or girl to come into those engineering courses.
So let's touch upon what you've said, that the parents might find job prospects very hard. So how easy or how difficult is it for anybody as an aerospace engineer to break into the job market of the aviation sector in our country?
It's very tough. It's very tough and very limited. Actually, it's limited. That's why it's tough.
Okay.
Because as I said earlier, there are only 5 to 6 branches where we can go. Outside, people can go into the marine industry. They can go into the biotech industry, they can shift in from aerospace engineering to IT or computer science engineering. But in Nepal, if you are aerospace engineering, you should be in either aviation authority body, doing AME, aircraft maintenance engineering, or something in the safety. Those are only 4 to 5 factors that are open for aerospace engineering.
Okay. You said that we could go in marine.
Yes, of course. So you are a physicist, right? If I'm not wrong. How does fluid work? So yes. So it is totally related into either mechanical, people also can go into that, or say even aerospace, because we study the fluid dynamics. So we can go into that. So those are the space where you can go into. They have done a lot of research and development on that. But here it's lacking, I think. So there are only a little, very, very few.
Very, very. Yeah. And how could we encourage, first, the government to spend a lot of money on research and development, help foster the culture of research? How can we do that?
I haven't been to IOE Pulchok. How does it work? I don't know. But I have been to IIT Bombay, where it is totally 100% government institute, if you are aware of it. The government itself is funding billions of rupee to, the professor to do some research in something. So they are gaining money and they are giving that thing, they're giving that source, they're giving that financial facilities to the student or the researcher around them. So they are developing that thing. But I don't know about IIT. How does it work? Either professors are funded or not, and to do some research kind of thing, okay? To say to make something like a drone or something. So we can not only to have a border security map and a drone we can use a drone in a border area too. So are there those people? I'm just giving one example. There are a lot of things that it went. I could see in IIT Bombay that I couldn't even see in high aviation sector, like aviation in the aviation industry. I couldn't feel there is no R&D over here. I've worked in Nepal Airlines for the last 14 years and have never found any. There is one section R&D. It is not research and development. It is receive and dispatch. Okay. We have seen it like that. Yeah, there should be some idea. There should be some brainstorming. The brainstorming should be there. Okay, sir, if it is not there, the CEO should be there. And he should put all those brain around him. There are a lot of good brains, inside NSC I've seen. But they are being underutilized. You have to utilize them. You have to be positive. You have to motivate them. It's not only the buttering thing works, but the brain should be, your brain should be mobilized. And yes, if a lot of brain should be mobilized, then I think so, it will grow like tremendously.
Well, I think that one of the reasons that people are really discouraged to carry on research in our country is because of the dearth of salaries that teachers are handed out. Say you talk about IIT Bombay. What is the salary of an average?
As a government, whatever the government has given, like a government officer, they are there.
So as a government officer, they're given that. And as a person who works in a particular research or helps at a research department,
they have get funding.
They get funding. But I think that is where we lack.
Yes.
Because none of the people are motivated.
Yes, actually.
As you get older, your parents get sick, you've got kids. You need a good amount of backing up with money in order to get your creative juices flowing.
Correct. That's correct. Like, I don't know, comparing from Nepali professor to Indian professor, I think they are huge in number compared to any Nepalese professor. And not in amount also, but I think a lot of facilities are given.
Additional facilities. I mean, teachers are sometimes they are the last resort of anybody who wants to get into the PSC, in the low zero examination. Teachers are the least regarded ones. They don't have any status, as it were. There is very little room for corruption. And there's not a lot of charm to it because it tends to get really monotonous. So I think that the government should actively spend a lot of money trying to get good teachers. This is not simply in colleges or in universities. There are a lot of friends of mine who teach in schools who tell me that finding a good science teacher is really difficult. Anybody who's completed their bachelor's in science doesn't want to stay in this country. They want to eject as soon as possible.
It's a brain drain. The good brain are draining out. And I don't know what government is doing.
In the government, you tell me.
That's why I left the government, I could say that.
So are you involved in any entrepreneur work as well with regards to aviation?
Yes, I have founded one organization which basically work in research and development.
In?
Research R&D.
Research and development.
And it is related to, the environment. We are considering the environment science. We are considering the wildlife science. And we are considering the aviation science. 3 factors. And some of the engineering part. And especially the renewable energy. So we are involved me with my team back in US. We are involved in some kind of, it's just a stage. Like as soon as I got resigned from NSC, I got engaged in that just within 2 days or so. We are in a process of registration, the company registration process going on, but we have 2 to 3 prototype, I think, developed, especially based on renewable energy, which would help, I think, the local farmers over here, especially in the belt of Tarai, especially the people who are engaging in fishing farming. And then after that, we have another project for wildlife research, which is engaged in the total sensing AI and the sensor system. Right now we are in an initial stage of covering the sound pattern of the macaques, and then my husband is working on that. And one of my friends a professor back in US, he's also involved on that. So we are working on that team. And the third coming project will be the wildlife conservation using aviation, not drone or nothing else. It will be totally the zero emission. Right? Yes. I'm planning on that. So let's see how does WWF or other organization would help us on doing that. So that the main part is the funding. How could we get the funding? That's the thing. So if we are lucky enough, then maybe we'll get something. If our project is like very click on to the people who we are projecting it, so we might
get.
Yeah.
Now, it might come as a surprise to a lot of people that Yeti Airlines in our country, for example, achieved carbon neutrality about 5-6 years ago. And that came as a surprise when I read it, because you're pitching the idea of reducing the carbon footprint of the aviation industry. We already have in airlines, but it's sad to see that none of the other airlines have followed the example of Yeti and moved in that direction.
There is a carbon offsetting CORSIA. It is known as International Aviation something. I forgot right now. It's a CORSIA project. Was first developed. It's an international aviation thing, which is directly guided by the ICAO. So on that project, I was involved. I was a focal person. So what we do is we calculate the carbon emission for a particular year. Physical year. Not physical year, I could say from January to January. So those will be the 1 year time period. So we do that kind of thing and we submit that report. It will be audit report, like whether the flown route is correct or not, whether the weather impact was there or not, or other factor will be also considered on that project. In that project, it was it is a carbon offsetting, You are trading your carbon thing. So since our country is landlocked country, we are opt from that. Other country who are coming to our country, they should pay because they have emitted some carbon in our country. So they should either, do something regarding the carbon neutral thing, carbon offsetting, say some forestation thing, or say some solar panel thing or something. They should contribute to our country. But as a Nepal, it is a huge amount for a Nepal Airlines. Only I'm talking just only about a Nepal Airlines, that we are emitting a lot of carbon in the international sector. But since we are the underdeveloped country and the lander country, we are omitted to do that thing. But we can make Nepal as a source because, Qatar, it flies five times a day. There are other 34 airlines in regard average of 30 to 32 airlines which fly in Kathmandu. We can trade those if the Civil Aviation Authority is focused on that. There is one focal person on that. Yeah, we can trade. We can make money out of it, and we can do some carbon neutral thing. Either we can spend those money in solar thing, or we can spend those money in the forestation or conservation or something. So it should be the carbon neutral thing. So we can do that. But regarding the domestic thing, yeah, ET Airlines, I think they are using something like the electric bus. Yeah. And then I think the paper are reusable paper, the whatever they give us for the drinking or something. So I haven't gone through the ET Airlines carbon neutral thing, but I have seen in the domestic terminal in Kathmandu, they are using those kind of thing. The buses, the other things they are using as an electric thing. So I think they are going into those kind of thing, and they are doing some project regarding the cleaning of Mount Everest also. I'm not aware of it, but I heard it. I'm not confirmed. I wouldn't confirm that thing, but I think, yeah. So those are some prospects that our aviation authority can make money out of it, and do not make only, they have to do something regarding that. So
sometimes I feel that this Everest cleanliness campaign is a bit overblown. That if you're not willing to reduce the number of cylinders or cans or plastic inside the area, you can't simply take two people, ask them to clean up the garbage, bring it back to Kathmandu. That's a very short-term mitigation. I mean, as a person who was lived very, very close to the base camp for about a year, I lived in a village that's known as Kumjo, which is which lies at an altitude above Mount Everest. It takes about 2 or 3 hours of walk to get there. I stayed there for a year, and I wanted to talk to the Sagarmatha Pollution Control Center. And I went to the office and said, show me the work that you've done. And all they show me is photographs of them taking a few sacks, bringing all of the cans out of the air. And I thought, this is disproportionate. I mean, you're letting people. You can't simply say we cleaned up the cans. Yes. And the other thing that goes in these areas is that sometimes we're fooled by that. Because most of the plastic waste that you get there, most of the metals that are produced in the area are burned. There is a ground where they're burnt. You don't really see that they've been burned, but you know. So sometimes in, say, about 15 days' time, you go out to take a stroll in the village. You see there is volcano-like ash that's coming. I see, what is this? And then I talked to the locals.
I said know about it.
Yeah, it is really true. So I don't believe that just because an airline goes to a particular place, takes a few sacks there and brings all of a few oxygen cylinders out of it, that's not a long-term solution.
Yes, that is not long-term solutions. And I would say I have been in one of the seminars, it's regarding the climate change, and then, the people who were there, they drive a fan, like I'm just simply it's a very basic thing. There were people from aviation too, there were people from government too, there were people from regional government too, and then they were saying that here the snow has been melted, no one is caring, something is going on, etc., etc. That's true. That's a reality. After some decades or something, if you are not concerned, we can't see the mountains. So we can see the snow-covered mountains in Nepal. If if I'm not wrong, then. But the thing is, like, the people who were saying those kind of things, if they were concerned about the environment, if they were concerned about something related to climate change or something, they wouldn't have wore a Prada bag. I'm saying that thing.
That's very
but
valid argument.
They couldn't have wore, a kind of leather shoes. I don't know which brand was that. They couldn't have use, the expensive perfume.
Makeup.
Yes, makeup. And they didn't know about, and they were talking regarding the impact they are keeping on, and they were wearing diamonds and all. It's just spoken. You should come with, everything should be coming with, from your heart, If you are doing, then do it.
There is a very good case to be made that eating local food, which is grown in a particular area, which doesn't involve transport, is one of the keys to solving the climate change problem. Some of my friends who work in very reputed INGOs in my country, they tend to go to conferences in the United States of America, Brazil, and I say, do you know how much carbon you
will imitate? Yeah, of course.
I was learning absolutely nothing. You're bringing me these keys as soon as I don't need this, because you could have stayed here. You could have learned better, because now the information is free. You could access a lot of scientific papers. There's no need to do that. So I think that the cutting off should come from the grass level. Go to a lot of institutions which pose as institutions who are working to curb the climate change, but in turn are creating a lot of havoc, as you said.
Yes, of course. And one more thing, I used to think about it, why don't people need more shampoos, 1 bottles, 2 bottles for this. I could see every household have those kind of things. I don't know whether I'm speaking or not. I'm more into, the saving the environment than other things. So in the last 5 years, I haven't brought any single dress, because there are tons of dresses in my cupboard that I couldn't use. And what's the matter?
Yeah, sometimes even when I take a look at that, I'm going to say, how are these clothes going to die?
Yes. Just use that one. You just use that, you reuse that again and again until it's done, and then it is reused in our kitchen and then other thing. Just do it. Just do one step for environment. That's all I want to say, because I'm focusing more towards environment safety.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. And your organization, you said, work the
test. Yes.
So how would, say, the environment and aviation be related? I mean, there is
yes.
aviation, but what is it that we specifically wanted?
Especially, I would say that for Airship.
Airship?
Yes. It would be, yes, I would say that,
so that would be lighter than
lighter than aircraft. So that would, in a long-term range, would, I think, because it doesn't emit any carbon thing. But yeah, helium will be there. So the cost of manufacturing will be, it will contribute something towards carbon emission, which I'm really scared of. So our team of people are searching regarding the material, which is carbon free, which is made of some. So we are working on that. So let's see. And then let's see the material cost or something which we could come up with no carbon emit at all. At all, I couldn't say, but very nice.
But very.
Yes.
Talking about an airship, I think it was 2 or 3 days ago was the death anniversary of one of the most popular airships that we know, Hindenburg. It was known as the Hindenburg disaster. This took place in the United States of America. There was a big airship that was being run by the Nazi Germany, which had a symbol of swastika in it.
Yeah, World War, I think, two. Yeah.
World War II.
Yeah.
And then after about 4 years or so, he was disbanded. Now, that
because of helium it got burst. It was like that.
It was the Helium Act was put on by America. They said, look, we're not selling any no Germans compared to use hydrogen instead. So do you think that helium would be a good substitute? And
that's the thing our research and development team are working on. Like what are the factors that we could contribute to the environment without contribute without emitting more carbon to our projects. So that will be our main motive.
Go.
Yes.
So what would I don't really know about airships.
I think you should study something.
How fast do airships travel, say, compared to your jet line?
Very slow. Very slow. It's a very slow. Like I would say, have you not even slower than hot air balloon? Yeah. But it could, cover the range of area where we are concerned about. Last, and I heard in the news that there was one horned rhino, the rear rhino. 16 of them were dead within last 3 months, a couple of months. I don't remember. Yeah. Yes, Chitwan National Park. So, yeah, there is a team of from Army and other people, those national park conservation people, they are working on the conservation, but how it's the rare animals are being dead. Either they are being, the one horn has been transported to another country, or they are smuggling, those kind of thing. So you never know. So those were the thing. And before also it was all those kind of rare animals and birds were, birds not, especially animals were dead, like not this time, like really long year ago, tiger, if you remember. Yeah, it was drawing on. So those were the thing that came into my mind. So at that time, I talked to my professor too regarding my thesis, doing those kind of stuff, because he's especially a specialization on the airship. So I was working on with him, but he told me, like, since you are in the aviation industry, your thesis should be focused on aviation. So, but now I have left the aviation industries, but so I'm concerning my team along. I think I'll concern those kind of research to my professor too. So let's see what will happen if we can do something regarding the rare birds and animal conservation, then that would be fine.
That's a wonderful thing. I mean, I've had a guest here was so much into the environment. It's wonderful to talk to somebody who's environmentally concerned.
And I didn't know about the Sagarmatha thing that you told. I'm really shocked. Like,
you should.
Yeah, but I haven't, because I'm never involved in any of the airlines, like either ATHI or either Buddha. I have done my internship over there, but I don't know regarding the working environment of those airlines. I know the working environment of our Nepal Airlines, and that's all.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So you said that you talked to your professor about it as well, and said that your thesis didn't really match up.
Yes, actually, he asked me whether you want to continue your some time with airlines industry or aviation industry or not. And then I said, yeah, I want to do that. So he was like, don't do this unrelated thing. We'll come back to that later. So, yeah. So he forced me, he doesn't force me, I will say. He asked me to do something for the airlines, for the cost saving, doing the fuel tankering thing, because in Nepal the fuel is really expensive. So yeah, if we could take that, also come into the CO2 emission too. So my thesis was based on the same fuel tankering, considering the CO2 emission thing. So are we feasible? Are we doing with contribution of something to the environment or the government? Are we doing our routes are into those particular green area or not? My main research was on that. So yeah, it was kind of really good, and my professor helped me a lot on that time. But when I came here and I want to bring those ideas and then those patterns, because I could, my research shows that I could save this much amount of money, though we contribute this much amount of money to the environment. So it was kind of, but there was no one to, talk to about, So, yeah.
One of the other things that saves a lot of carbon dioxide emissions from aircraft is the use of sustainable jet fuel, sustainable aviation fuel, SAF, as they are called.
Yeah.
Is our country looking in that direction as well? Because from the reports I read, it's been said that the sustainable aviation fuel market will have a share of as much as, say, $600-700 million by the end of 2029, 2030. But I see no progress in that department. As you say, if you go and talk to people about this, they say, "What are you?
Yes.
Are you smoking?" Or
yes. Yeah. Are you high or something? Yeah, I think government has put some, I don't know whether they are doing something or not, or some research institute are doing something regarding the carbon neutral thing, or making, the fuel, sustainable fuel thing. So are they doing that or not? But in my regards, I've been in Nepal Airlines for like last, how many years? 14 years?
14.
Yeah. And then till now, nobody has talked regarding that thing. So, yeah, I think no. Yeah, they might have studied something in the article or some newspaper regarding, globally the people are going to adopt something in the future. So let's plan for that, maybe in 10 years. So I don't find it. Not even a discussion part. Yeah.
And how do you see the chances of your organization booming in the future? I mean, given that first, there's the obvious hurdle that you've got to make your voices heard to the donors or...
Yes. Other organization and yeah.
And let's say once you get through that, do you think that there are more challenges that lie ahead?
Yes, there will be. There will be. Sustainable of units, sustaining the human resources is a main concern. The paying them, because, if I'm hiring you as a researcher, I'm using your brain. I should pay you that much amount so that you are happy with me. So those are the factors that I'm thinking that are making me more, fear of losing my human resource. So those are the factors I think that are bothering me, but I think it will work on. Because right now the team that we are working, they are using their brain, being paid very less. So they are happy.
They're passionate.
Yeah, they are passionate about what they are doing. So I think those team members, they won't leave me. So yeah.
I hope so too. Team members won't leave you. And it's very difficult to train new people, teach them the organizational culture, and get them aligned with it.
Yes. It takes time. Yeah.
Lot of,
because sorry for interruption. If I'm hiring you, I'm giving you full thing for developing your thing to your needs, your using your brains, giving you training, and giving you some education thing, and making you perfect for that project. And as soon as you get to another project, I am losing one of the human resource. So how to return it? That is making me a little bit concerned. But yeah, my team are like very passionate. I hope they don't. Maybe.
We hope it works out too as well. Natalie, it was wonderful talking to you.
Yeah,
I hope we could talk again.
Sure, in future.
Perhaps with regards to research.
Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you.